One, never be ashamed or scared to follow your passion. You know, live a long lifetime, and it is way too short and long at the same time to not pursue what genuinely makes you happy. And then off that note, don't if your path or your track does not kind of align with what, you know, societally, you know, people have told you should be doing, or, you know, what your peers in your age group are doing, do not be like stunted in your path. Do not be scared. Do not halt because you're comparing yourself to others. Everybody is a unique individual, and if you are pursuing, you know, your authentic goal and the person you want to be, that's all there is to it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Just Keep Showing Up podcast. This is your man, Derrick, and I am here today with Nora. How are you doing, Nora?
I'm doing great, Derrick. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So, I'm very excited for us to have this conversation. We've talked about this a lot, us getting a chance to talk, and I'm very thankful that you decided to be on the show. And I guess just the person that I am, I kind of already anticipate some of the great things you're going to talk about. So,
Absolutely.
yes. So I would like to start off, like, the first thing I like to ask is for the guests to share a little bit about themselves, just so the folks know who's talking to them. So
Yeah,
it's all yours.
the floor is mine. Well, I'm Nora. We met at the gym, I guess probably about a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago.
Yeah.
I was pretty shy in the gym at first. I feel like it's we have a little bit of an intimidating, but very good vibes gym. But you know, people go in there really for the intention of working out. So I was a little shy at first, but you broke the ice and said the first like kind thing, and after that, you know, the rest is history.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about us. But me, I am a 27-year-old aspiring physician right now. Graduated college in 2019 with a math and economics degree, used it for a bit. Really didn't like corporate America and kind of trying to shake things up right now and pursue a passion that I discovered after a year of scribing in a clinic in Philly that I really can't imagine what else I want to do with my life after that year. So um, took the appropriate steps, got all my prereqs in, and now we're on our way to hopefully getting an acceptance into medical school this year.
Yes. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Yes. Yeah, our gym, like going back to the gym thing, it is, if you walk in there and just look into the gym, it could be very, very intimidating. I think for us, fortunately, the time that we go, we've kind of like almost set the tone with the vibe that's there, like the people that are there, so it's been really, really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
and I
like a
remember the
regular
first time I
crew
spoke
that
to you.
shows up,
Yeah,
but
so
it's
it was great.
yeah. There's like a regular crew that shows up, and I feel it's, you know, that thing where you're all in there, you know, 5:36 in the morning, kind of sleepy, but it's you know you
Yeah,
froze.
yes. I don't know. Both of
Oh,
us
there you
are.
are. There you are.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, I'm back.
you're back. You're back. But yeah, I think that the vibes are always good, and I think that the thing that I like most is that even though people sometimes look tired and, you know, kind of got the serious face on, if you needed anything from anybody, 100% there to help. So it's a good
Yeah,
environment for sure.
yeah, it's really good. I really enjoy it. And with your introduction, I'm thinking about, talking about, and I would get to the what do you do for yourself to continue to show up? And I guess I could start there now. What do you do for yourself to continue to show up? And I want to kind of touch on, and I wrote this down as pivoting towards your passion. You had a very good job and you decided to kind of pivot. So I'm gonna ask again, like, what do you do for yourself to continue to show up, especially when speaking about something like that, and just life
Yeah.
in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very daunting thing, especially like in today's world. I think that, you know, people have this conception that you're supposed to have things figured out as soon as you know, graduate college or high school or whatever it may be, and have an idea of what you want to do as soon as you're hopping into the big boy, big girl world. And I think I kind of, in my early 20s, I was just on the path like, I'm going to get my degree. I got a math and economics, like dual major. I was like, I don't really know what I want to do with it, but I'll figure it out. And I did use it, but the the 2.5 years or so that I was in my career, it just was not fulfilling. And I think I was in denial maybe a little bit, like it'll come around, I'm so new, etc. But when you know, you know. I mean, that phrase applies to a lot of things in life, and I knew, after those 2.5 years, it was not what I wanted to be doing. So I pivoted super hard. My mom is a radiologist, and she actually didn't go back to medical school until 7 or 8 years after she graduated undergrad. So that was an inspiration to me. And she is actually one of the like extrinsic factors that I have as a reason that I keep showing up, because I think that her story is incredible. But yeah, I mean, like, I guess going back to me, it's a daunting thing to change your kind of course, even though, I really am sort of early on, only at 27. But it's daunting, and just to kind of do a 180 and go, okay, this is what I want to go after now, and put everything you have into it. But I'm a very goal oriented, focused person. So I think
Hmm.
it's just trying to take like one little step at a time, make sure, you got boxes checked, and just keep the goal the main thing. So,
Yeah, yeah. I think it's just very encouraging and inspiring to because all of the energy that you're talking about now that was probably put into you achieving your first degree, going to college. And I know we'll touch on your D1 experience of not just being in college but playing a D1 sport, which is a big deal, and I feel like that's kind of like taking that, probably that mentality that you used in those sports, is kind of taking it to this right now, because I know we talk in the gym all the time about the MCAT. I think it's what it's called, the MCAT, which you have to take to get accepted into medical school, and that I just had a friend of mine who did that as I was transitioning out of the Army. So was he. And that was his dream. He wanted to be a doctor. He started taking, like, studying for that test. And this is a guy who easily, like, one of the smartest people I've met. I mean, just, I'm talking like witty smart. He's the rare, like, where you're very, very smart, and also you have common sense, book smarts and common sense. So those is a very good thing. And I just remember,
yeah.
I was like, man, I just can't imagine. And it's just, it's like set up to where you have to just keep going and going and going. It's a very long process. So,
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, medical school is one of those things that's like delayed gratification at its like core.
Hmm.
You get your graduate high school, you get your undergrad degree, you get accepted into medical school. It's 4 years of that, then it's 4 years of residency, maybe a year of fellowship. Like, you are, getting up into the teens years into education before you even, really start
Hmm.
your career. So you have to be able to like put things in perspective and know that, all these kind of, what I'm thinking of right now is like minuscule things, like
Hmm.
hope hopefully, with the way I think about it, in 20 years from now, when I am hopefully a practicing physician, I'm going to laugh about how
Yeah.
stressed out I was about the MCAT, But right now, it's the biggest thing that I'm experiencing, and you talk
Yes.
about that a
Yeah.
lot, and I love that. For me right now, that is the most stressful thing that's happening to me. But I think something that does keep me grounded, and I don't know if it started with you or if you just sort of reinforced it, but just the idea that like it's okay to be stressed out about this thing now, because it is the biggest thing that's happening. But
Yes.
I try to keep in mind, in 20 years from now, if you keep working at it,
Hmm.
you'll look back and find it funny, or you'll be able
Yeah.
to laugh about it.
Yes, and I think we can look over our lives and probably see that with other things. I mean, you think that made me think about like something like learning to ride a bike, and now once that's locked in, I haven't been on a bike, and I mean it's been a while, but I could still ride a bike. It's like you, but at that moment, it's a big deal, and like all the different milestones we do as kids, learning to walk, and now we don't even think about walking; we just get up and do it. And then also at the same time honoring where you are now with the MCAT, and that is your biggest moment, like you just said, so it's really good. And then again, like with you being a college athlete and us just having time and talking about things before. I know you've mentioned, I remember, well, we could just say when we recorded this the first time,
Yeah.
I'll just say that. And I had some notes, and we talked about determination, motivation, discipline, and it was something you mentioned along those
Yeah, it's
lines.
kind of my triangle. I mean, and I
Yes.
guess I didn't really think about it like in a like verbatim way in college, but
Hmm.
that's what it boils down to, especially for a Division 1 athlete. There's I think we talked about the fact that motivation is, what gets you up in the morning, but it does
Hmm.
come and go. discipline is what, when that motivation lacks, keeps you going back to the gym, back to the pool, back to the pitch, back to the, whatever it may be. So all those things are super important. It's a balance every day because, going going back to something that you said too, like some days you got your 100%, but some days your 100% is 10%, and that's what you
Yeah,
have
it's
to give.
true.
It's what you have like to give that day because we are all, human beings who are just living life. But going, I think discipline is kind of like the pivotal point of that triangle, that you just have to have somewhere in the back of your mind, like, you get through this, tomorrow's another day,
Hmm.
keep working at it, keep grinding.
Yeah, I know, both of us living where we live, and Baltimore Ravens are right down the street. And I could remember 2 years ago when, with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and I was like, man, they're so close. Maybe is this their year? And they get beat and put out of the playoffs. And I'm like, man, how do they like reset and come back and try to do this again? And then this previous season, the same thing. It was like, okay, this is their year, and then you don't make it, and then like reset. And I think it is like the discipline, like a combination of the motivation and discipline that you have to like continue to like grind through life and keep pushing towards your goals. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
very, 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 very good concept. So I know, and you mentioned this very briefly. You talked about, I don't even know how I'm gonna say the word correctly. Extrinsic. I know intrinsically motivated and
Extrinsic, yeah.
extrinsic motivation. And who are like some of those people I know you have in your life? Like you have the inside determination, and I think sometimes that's what the gym is. You go in there, you work out, and with the
Yeah,
with you pursuing your goals, to become a physician. That you have something inside of you, but there's some days where you're down, and it's like you have your support system. Can you
yeah.
touch on that?
I think, yeah, I mean, in terms of just, to keep showing up for yourself, you
Hmm.
have to have like a balance of intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Like the intrinsic,
Yes.
like we just talked about, the discipline, like that's somewhere deep within, and like you, as an athlete, I think it builds very young. But I mean, I know people of all walks of life that have that too. Just
Hmm.
whether it's making it through, the day and their job to get home to provide for their kids, whatever it may be. I mean,
Yes.
it's like discipline comes in all shapes and forms. So that's my intrinsic thing that was developed in me young because of sports. But my extrinsic thing, I would be nowhere without my tribe. I think they talk about, it takes a village in terms of
Mm-hmm.
raising kids, but I
Very
think
true.
it takes a village in terms of like becoming an adult as well.
Yeah.
I would be nowhere without my parents. I already talked about my mom and her story becoming a physician, and she was the first college graduate in her family. Well, she has an older brother. They were first gen college students,
Hmm.
but she had nobody that was talking to her about how to go about a medical school application
Yes.
or any of that. And like I mean, I hope my mom doesn't hear this, but she was back in the Stone Ages. Like internet was not a thing. You're not typing it in on your phone, right? Yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, I'm really hoping she doesn't hear this now. No, but you're not typing things in on your phone. You don't have that easy access to
Yes.
information,
Hmm.
which
Yes.
I think makes it even more like astonishing that she was able to complete that feat and was a very successful and well respected physician during her career. My
Hmm.
dad, I have a very like diverse set of parents. So my mom is a retired radiologist, and then my dad is a retired construction worker. He did sheet metal roofing, and
Yes.
I mean, it's as impressive as my mom in my eyes, because he, from the time he was like 14 or 15 years old, was working for his grandfather, working for his uncle, went into business for himself, was in the union for several decades. I mean, labor is not for the weak.
No.
Tradesman is a hard gig, no matter what field you're in. And when my mom, I'm just going into real personal story now, but when my mom finally decided that she wanted to go back to medical school, he said, obviously, some medical students do work, a lot don't, because it is a lot of time spent studying. But he said, I'm going to, make this happen. We'll figure it out finance wise. And I think that's a huge like inspiration for me, just knowing that there are, like partnerships out there that are going to lift each other up at, at all times. And that's something that's really
Yeah.
inspiring to me. So yeah, I just have the best set of parents out there to kind of look up to and kind of keep in mind and keep me showing up. Like, you are gonna get through it. You're gonna find a way no matter what. You keep grinding, it'll happen for you.
Yeah, that's really good. We have a little delay here in the connection, but yeah, but I did hear all of that, and I think that was great about that is almost like you have these two lives that have actually they've experienced life and they get to deposit all of that into your dreams and your journey. And you just continue to pay that forward, and sometimes that can be the difference in what happens. Of course, that is a path. Sometimes I know I can remember in the army one time I was talking to someone. We would deal with a lot of young people in the military, and I can remember someone specifically saying, "Well, this guy or this girl came from a broken home," and he kind of defined that as a home where one of the parents was absent or just whatever it may be. And I would always tell him, people can come from all different walks of life, and because you could be in a home with two parents and they're not, a positive impact on your life. So it's just beautiful to see there's all different ways and that your situation is the way that it is, and that's your journey. And I think it's important for us to, honor our journey. So that's very beautiful. And I think something else that's very inspiring to me that you've done, and I'll go back to it, is, and I wrote it down as pivot towards your passion. I think that's something that's so inspirational because, you were probably very comfortable financially at that point in your life, where you've gone to college, say this is a career I want. If you majoring in math and economics, that means you're probably very, very smart. And you're making a decision to take to take a chance on yourself and your passion and your dreams. And not only taking a chance on yourself, but also looking at it from the aspect of, when I'm 40 years old, will I be able to look back over my life and see that I took a chance on Nora, that I took a chance on. Sometimes I define it as the little girl. I was talking to Veronica on the previous episode, and she kind of defined it as having this little child inside of her that said that she could do it, and you kind of honor that. That's so inspirational. And that's
I
coming from
think
me,
there's
someone who's
something.
so much older.
Yeah. No, I think there's something to be said about showing up for like your younger self too, and
Yes.
would they be proud young at young ages, you're talking like 10, 11, 12, 13.
Hmm.
You're very naive about like the world in general. I wanted to be a professional soccer player when I was 13 years old, and brave naivety, I guess, if you, whatever you want to call it, but kind of maybe even trying to like channel your inner kid and be like, they she wanted to do this when she was that
Yeah.
young and like had no reservations about it and whatnot. And it's like a good reminder that, really, if you want it, it's possible. Have to you have to take daily steps towards it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that daily steps towards. I have a note down where I wrote down brick by brick. When you
Yeah.
said earlier, when you know, and it's from Will Smith, and he talked in his book that his dad kind of did this little thing with him and his brother over the summer, but it was just like this. He was teaching them that, hey, yeah, there may be a faster way to do something, but I'm trying to teach you brick by brick and the importance of each step, and honoring each step, kind of going back to the MCAT, like honoring this moment of where you are right now, because you have to complete, almost like complete this level before you get to the next level, and maybe the
100%.
the big boss guys, like when you turn 40 and turn around, like, man, we made it, and all the different things you've done along the way. So yeah, that is very, very awesome.
I think sort of along those lines too, like we definitely talked about this last time, but like one phrase that like keep coming back to, especially when I get really wigged out or stressed out about a particular thing, whether it's, the MCAT or a grade that I got in a class that I keep wondering, oh, like, is an admissions office gonna just, immediately put this, down because I'm got this particular grade. I just keep remembering, like, you're gonna be 40, whether you're a doctor or not. You might as well pursue it being a doctor. And
Yes.
that keeps me grounded a lot. You're gonna be 40, 50, no matter what. Pursue it, in your most genuine form, what you want to do and how you want to be. And I think that if you can really say that you do that every single day, I think that you're one, definitely showing up for yourself, and two, like, you can't go wrong. You're Something's gonna come your way.
Yeah, would you say, because I know what I'm thinking in my mind, what I feel from that, would you say that that gives you, well, I'm about to say what I'm thinking, that it gives you peace? Like you can, because we can go through life sometimes and wonder, like, second guess ourselves, or just like, man, did I make the right choice? But what you just explained, I feel like for me, and I know with me, that a lot of things that I do is, man, at least I can have peace about the situation. Like I did this, I did that, I mitigated my circumstances, and I can allow myself to move on through life with peace,
Yeah,
because you gave it all
absolutely.
you had, and gave yourself an opportunity.
And like I'll wrap that back around to sports. I was always told like if you give 100% of what you have on that given day out on the field to your teammates, to your coaches, like no matter what the result is, like you got nothing to be ashamed about because that
Hmm.
what else are you to do? You
Yeah.
gave it everything you had, you put out all your effort, and that's that. I mean, and if you do that, good majority of the time you're going to come out on top, or at least
Yes.
you're going to learn a hell of a lot and you're going to do
Hmm.
better the next time. So I
Yeah.
think no matter what, it's like a good philosophy to live by.
I agree, and I feel that maybe it's crazy. I just love having these conversations because something will come to my mind I never thought about, and perhaps like the whole goal of life is not necessarily winning at life, but it's actually like maybe efforting at life, if that's a word.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
I'm leaving here with all of my effort. Like I put all of my effort into life,
yeah,
and because life itself is going to let you know if it's a win, and then that's all like subjective. But
absolutely.
effort isn't. So.
Everybody's circumstances are different. Everybody has a
Hmm.
different health, financial, socioeconomic, whatever it may be. But
Yes.
I think no matter whether you're talking about, somebody who's got $1 billion or somebody who's living in a not so nice neighborhood, you can like the amount of effort that that person gives is like what really inspires people.
Yes.
That
Yes.
at the end of the day is what is inspiring.
Very well said. Yes. So my final question, unless you have something else.
No, I think I mean, it was a little different than last time, but I loved where it
Yeah.
went.
That's yes. It flows very well, and we're not finished yet, so that's great. My last question. So, if anything you shared resonated with anyone that's listening, what advice would you give that person? It's like, man, Nora's like dropping jewels, and I just some of the things she's talking about is really resonating with me. What advice would you give to that person?
Because it's what like the biggest thing that's happening in my life right now. It's two pronged. One, never be ashamed or scared to follow your passion. You you live a long lifetime, and it is way too short and long at the same time to not pursue what genuinely makes you happy. And
Mm,
then off that note, don't if your path or your track does not kind of align with what societally people have told you you should be doing, or what your peers in your age group are doing, do not be like stunted in your path. Do not be scared. Do not halt because you're comparing yourself to others. Everybody is a unique individual, and if you are pursuing your authentic goal and the person you want to be, that's all there is to it. Don't let comparison drag you in a different direction than you should be. And I mean, it could be comparison on social media or what other people are doing in class or what other coworkers are doing. But if you have a goal in mind and it's you're on that path, stay on that path, and don't let anybody make you feel bad about it, and don't get inside your head that you should be doing something other than you are, because if you're really really pursuing what you want to, you're on your right path no matter what.
yes, it sounds like I can sum it up as where you are is where you're supposed to be. Yes.
Heck yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Nora. This was fabulous. Thank you so very
Absolutely.
much. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I feel like we've been talking about it for over 6 months, so I'm glad to finally be doing it.
So awesome. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. Until next time, peace.